So I just did Stephan's YouTube Creator Academy course, and I want to give a full review, all coming from the perspective of someone who's obviously new to YouTube and trying to grow the channel, because that's really who the course is designed for. So I will tell you a little bit about what I liked, what I think could be improved, my recommendation as to whether you should spend $400 on this. You know what? I'm also going to rate it, and that rating is going to be based on a very ancient rating, which uses the Socratic method for sure, because you can't not use that. The Riemann hypothesis, duh, and also multiplication. If you already found Graham's course, then I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time reintroducing him to you. So at this point, he's been making YouTube content since 2017. So in 4 years, he's grown his initial channel to over 3 million subscribers. And the dude makes like $5 million a year on YouTube. If I'm not making $5 million a year on YouTube in 4 years, then this course was a disaster. I take back anything positive that I have to say about it. Let's really quickly just dive into an overview of the course. Overall, the entire course is about 8 hours of content. And on the course site, you can actually see a list of all of the module titles. So I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time there, but this is sort of how it breaks down. About 30 minutes of the course is spent on the philosophy of why YouTube and why it's the best platform. It's about 45 minutes on equipment and tools, which he very helpfully breaks down into 3 budget tiers, ranging from essentially free to up to like $3,000. Spends about 30 minutes on very basic video editing how-tos, and then he spends about 15 minutes on pretty practical channel setup, which sounds very basic, but there's actually some really helpful SEO and algorithm stuff in that section. Then he spends the other 6 hours teaching you to leverage the tools so that you can beat the YouTube algorithm and really start growing your channel. So since I have 4 big things that I really like about the course, in true Graham fashion, I will do a countdown from my 4th favorite to my 1st favorite. We're just going all the way around the desk here. So the number 4 thing that I liked about the course is honestly just how encouraging Graham is throughout the entire thing. You get the sense that he really wants to see you succeed on YouTube. I think he actually does a great job of pushing you past your fears and hesitations. He certainly did a good job selling me on trying. It's called the Creator Academy, but the number 3 thing that I like about this course is it's really geared toward growing your channel. Which I would go out on a limb here and guess that that's pretty much what every early YouTuber wants. The entire course is centered around growth strategies and tactics for getting more views, playing for the algorithm, and building your subscriber base. The fact that it's built off his personal experience, it certainly gives the growth strategies some teeth. Roar! The number 2 thing that I liked about the course was just the content itself. A lot of the content is super practical and very helpful, but I'll just focus in on a few things that I liked about a few different modules. His Creating Your Videos module is actually one of my favorites. He really provides a template and timed framework for planning, scripting, and shooting videos in a way that he thinks the audience will enjoy. The framework is just really good for providing some structure to how you plan and edit and shoot and make your videos. He has this how to edit your videos. Really the good stuff in this section, it's basically what to do once your video has been uploaded. It's stuff around adding end screen videos and cards that really help drive views on your channel. He also has one on creating your channel. So before you push this one aside, thinking that it's just about like YouTube setup, it's more about setting up your channel for success. So he talks about things like writing your about me and your description, and even channel layout. A bunch of stuff in here that I didn't really even think about that can help drive views. Ninja SEO techniques to rank first. Graham, that's a mouthful, buddy. But this one is really about leveraging all of the tools within YouTube. He talks about how to think about titles, descriptions, tags, and thumbnails, and making them all work together to get your videos to rank really high on SEO. Beating the YouTube algorithm. It's another mouthful. This one also super helpful if you're just not familiar with how the algorithm works. It just gives you some foundational understanding of how it actually works and what it's looking for, so that you can think about making content that really gets picked up and then recommended by the algorithm. So what's the number 1 thing that I liked about Graham's course? Really, the number 1 thing is by going through the course, you get a guaranteed smash of the like button by Graham on this video and a comment in the channel. That's just what I thought he said. He heard it. So really the number 1 thing that I liked about this course, just the overall practicality of the course. If you're basically looking for a checklist of things to do to have a positive impact on growing your channel, this is it. He really did do a good job of keeping things pretty grounded and felt pretty concrete. So much of it really did feel like these are things you can go try right now and then test in a few months to see if they actually work. So after all that, it sounds like the perfect program. And it is good, but it's certainly not perfect. Sorry. So here are a few areas where I think the course actually lacked a little bit. A handful of the video titles were kind of clickbaity. There were a few modules where once I finished all the content, I didn't feel like I actually got what was promised in the title of that module. As an example, he has a module called What YouTube Won't Tell You, and it's basically just a couple seconds on his belief that YouTube won't tell you that they prioritize monetized content. So he basically says what I just said, and then he mostly talks about how he wasn't anything special, he just went and tried, and now that he tried, he's found success, which did not really give me secrets into things that YouTube won't tell me. I think what happened was that he just got off topic from what he initially set out to talk about in that module, and he does that a few times. And the going off topic was another thing that I felt like he really could improve on, mostly because in the course itself, he talks specifically about not rambling or going off on tangents and how important it is to outline and script and then edit. Not sure why he just didn't refilm those sections. I probably wouldn't have thought much of this if it was just one of his videos on his channel, but I think because I was paying for this, the freestyle nature just did not live up to expectations. The next thing is an improvement that I think could be made. That's really around how relevant and applicable this information is now. So he made the content 2 or 2.5 years ago, and by his own admission in the course, he talks about how YouTube is a dynamic and changing platform and environment, and yet this is a static course. So it did leave me wondering, are these strategies really like the top tier strategies for growing your channel in 2021? And that I don't know. I think if he's going to continue to charge for this specific course, he should go back in, review the content at least once a year, and update the modules based on his new experiences. And Graham, my man, if you already do the reviews, I think that would actually be a super helpful marketing tool. Please let people know. The last thing that I think could be improved is maybe adding some sort of community interaction component. And yes, I knew 100% going into this that wasn't part of this program. I definitely see the value in having the opportunity to go through the content, ask questions, get other people's perspective who's also going through it. You'd also have this network of people who are at all different stages of their YouTube journey. I think that would expand the value of this course like exponentially, and especially if Graham is involved in some sort of way. So based on all that, do I recommend shelling out $400 for this? You are a beginner YouTuber. If you are in the beginning stages of your YouTube journey and really looking to grow your channel, I think the positives far outweigh some of these opportunity areas. So everything from the very practical growth tactics, SEO strategies, the algorithm insight, the template for scripting, and the framework and structure, I actually think well worth paying for. He also runs a deal on the course every once in a while, so you can always look out for deals. Overall, really enjoyed the course. Graham did a great job. Look, I'm brand new. From a content perspective, it felt really, really good. Really, it's more around some of the presentation of that content and then continuing to make sure that it's relevant and up to date. Overall, I'm really glad that I did it. I think one thing of just like being kind of pushed to get out of my comfort zone and just give it a try, I mean, that was super helpful in itself. And also his story is just super relatable. He seemed genuinely scared to do it in the beginning, and I certainly was too. But I will definitely make a video a year from now, just kind of chronicling my first year, and we can see if some of the stuff that I implemented from this course actually worked or not. So thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. If you have questions about the Academy, if you're thinking about doing it, or if you have your own comments or feedback on it, you can leave them in my comments. The comment section is free to use, and I highly encourage it. So see you later, I guess.